eternal presence. I am the Word made flesh. I am the silence behind the sound. I am the stillness beneath all movement.
I am love, you are love, we are one, only love is real. I see you, I hear you, I know you, I love because I am.
I create with love, I dwell in the end. I live from the wish fulfilled. I choose my state, I speak only what I desire to live.
I imagine, and it is so. I declare, and it becomes. I walk in victory.
I surrender to love, I trust the unfolding. I release the past, I forgive everything. I embrace the now, I breathe and allow. I accept all of me, I rest in what is. I remember who I am, I never left the garden. I am what I choose to embody. I was never broken, I am the dream fulfilled. I'm the healed and the healer. I am the spark of creation. I am not the story, I am the author. I am the name unspoken. I am the voice before the voice. I am the image and likeness of God. I am truth, remembering itself. I am not separate, I am one with all things. I am the breath and the fire, I am the return. I am love, I am held, I am whole, I am safe, I am powerful, I am free, I am light, I am love, I am the operant power. I am the Word made flesh, I am awake now. I am whole, I am God. I am love, I am light, I am safe, I am joy, I am peace, I am whole, I am one, I am the dream, I am that I breath, I am that I am, I am, I am. I lived in fire and drowned in rain, lost myself as I sought my name, chased different stars like they held the key, till the silence softly said to me, never again confuse the world with the source of joy inside. It's not in praise or touch or gold, it's the stillness where I hide. So I choose this joy, not for a season, but always believing a one and only Son. I choose this joy as my decision, 'cause all distractions had me undone. I'll become a mirror for what they're needing, even when they're drifting, bleeding. Reflect the inner voice reminding what so many unaware I've witnessed their rise and then their fall, and I've done the same behind my wall. But now I stand and lay bare my hands, cracked and bleeding from building with the sands. From today I'll always know that heaven's not beyond the sea. It lives within each breath I take. It's who I am, myself, it's me. So I choose this joy, not for a season, but always believing a one and only son. I choose this joy as my decision, 'cause all distractions make me undone, and I'll be a mirror of what they're needing. Even when they're drifting, bleeding, I become the voice reminding what so many unaware are seeking. Let the storm come, let the ground break. I will not shake, I will not shake. There's a light they can never take, so let them now face my way. Yes, I choose this joy, not for a season. It's what I'm believing, I'm my only son. I choose this joy as my decision, even if it appears the world's undone. I'll remain intact if they are breaking, reflect their light, even if they're aching. I'll be what many were unaware they were always seeking.
Welcome to Geaux Stros. We got the intro song coming up right now, and then after that, I will get to the introduction for the Astros lineup for Game 3. The Astros Rangers, or should I say Strangers?
I am love, I am whole, I am peace, I am joy, I am the breath, I am the light, I am chosen, I am known, I am seen, I am heard, I am worthy, I am free, I am safe, I am enough, I am radiant, I am powerful, I am rising, I am healed, I am held, I am whole, I love me, I trust me, I forgive me, I honor me, I believe in me, I remember I am God, I am imagination, I create with love, I choose my state, I dwell in the end, I live from the wish fulfilled, I accept my good, I walk in victory, I embody the truth, I am that I am. You are love, you are light, you are worthy, you are chosen, you are safe, you are whole, you are forgiven, you are precious, you are divine, you are the radiant, you are the dream fulfilled, you are the word made flesh. We are one.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good ma'am, good marm, good sire, good sir, good lord, good king, good ladies and gentlemen. It is about 3:24, exactly 3:24 in the morning here in Hiroshima. This is Geaux Stros coming to you live for Game 3 of this important series, the Texas Strangers versus the Houston Blastros. And we are in a tie series right now. There have been multiple games throughout this season. The Astros and the Rangers have gone back and forth, win-loss, 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 win-loss. We still have one more series to go with the Strangers before the season is over, but just one more game in this series in Arlington at Little Dykene Park. Dykene Park, maybe Discount Dykene Park, you could say. Let's go over the lineup right quick for today's Astros. Jeremy Pena is first in the order, and Alvarez is batting second again. He'll be in left field today. Altuve is DH again today. He still doesn't have a rest, but at least he is just in the DH spot instead of in the field. I feel like he needs 2 days of rest, to be honest. Correa is at third base batting cleanup. Christian Walker batting fifth at first base. Jake Myers batting sixth in between Walker and Diaz. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Myers is in center field, of course. Let's see here. Yainer Diaz batting seventh, catching. Cam Smith in right field today, batting eighth. And Mauricio Dubon batting ninth at second base today. We've got a left-hander on the mound. Patrick Corbin is who we're facing. I thought we were going to have Luis Garcia on the mound today, but whenever I logged in, I saw that we have Fromber. Very interested to see how Fromber does today. Ooh, I just realized that I had my microphone pointed up. I'm sorry about that. My levels seemed a little down, and I was kind of curious as to why that was. Now I know it's because my microphone was up here instead of down here. That's no good. All right. I'm glad that you guys appreciate the music. It's one thing that I will always do on my channel is continue to play original music that is 100% pure positive and uplifting. I'll never play anything on my channel that does not have a positive vibe to it. I write my own music, and then I use a combination of software and AI tools to produce it. I think you can tell by listening to the songs that I'm not singing it. I actually do sing myself, but the truth is, and I'm sure all of you can understand this, the truth is if you want to write and produce and sing your own songs, that requires not only a lot of time and effort, but also equipment. And that also means a lot of money. What's the point in me doing all of that when my main focus is the Geaux Stros channel? So creating the content that I need for this channel and what I'm doing here, whether it's video or pictures or thumbnails or music or whatever, I can quickly create these things. Well, I say quickly. Some things are faster than others. But some things that would take a lot of money and a lot of manpower and a lot of hours can be cut down to minutes and just cents on the dollar by using other software tools and AI tools. I will say this though, the short that I posted about yesterday's game, it's just a 60-second short. I kid you not, it took me a couple of hours just to do that short 60-second video. I edited the whole thing on my phone right after I had my $5 all-day breakfast lunch. So editing, like real editing, if you take a game and you chop it up and you start editing stuff, that takes a long time. That's very manual. I can do the editing, but it takes a while. Now, I am working on a video, and I will post part 1 tomorrow. So I hope all of you will be able to watch that. I think part 1 is just a little over 5 minutes. The whole video, I'm going to try to put it into just 2 different videos if I can. There are basically about 6 or 7 parts, but part 1 is kind of long. So I'm going to put part 1 by itself, post it tomorrow. It's a little over 5 minutes. The rest of the video is around 7 minutes. So I'm thinking to just put it in those 2 pieces. It is about the Astros hitting problems. I did some research, wrote a script, and I've been putting the video together. It's a lot of work, and I really do hope that all of you can watch it, enjoy it, and appreciate it. Anyway, Elvis says, Astros fan forever, and I'll tell you something, if they play smart baseball like yesterday, we can win the whole thing again. Well, you know what? The Astros have the capability of playing good and smart baseball. They have a ton of talent. They have arguably the best lineup in all of MLB. So it doesn't make any sense, right, on the surface, why they're doing so badly at the plate. However, when you start to dig into their systemic hitting problems that have existed, that have gotten worse over the past couple of years, then you start to understand why they are bipolar, how they can go from looking like total garbage and then the next day looking like the greatest team ever. That's because they don't have one strong system in place that they are all following religiously, and that needs to be fixed. If that's not fixed, then the Astros will remain bipolar and will not stand a chance in the playoffs. But time will tell. We'll see how they go. Daryl says, I'm at the Houston Texans-Rams game. I'll be checking in from time to time. Awesome. How's the game going, by the way? What quarter is it in, and what's the score? John says, John Lowe, hi from Houston, Texas. I'm new to your channel. Enjoy your broadcast. Could you tell me the title and artist of the song you're playing now, the intro song? Thanks and God bless. Go Astros. John, those are songs, like I just said a moment ago, you probably heard me already, but those are songs that I wrote myself. I write the lyrics, and then I use a combination of audio software, editing, and AI tools to actually make the songs. I started doing this earlier this year because of my health condition and some other things in my life. I wanted to eliminate everything going into my body and into my head that's not 100% positive. So, for example, you know how sometimes you're just going about your business and you're not really thinking about anything in particular, and then suddenly a song pops into your head. It could be anything. It could be a Metallica song, you know, just suddenly, and you can't get it out of your head. I was thinking about this one day. I don't want songs like that, and I'm not bashing or judging those songs. I'm just saying I don't want stuff like that. Even TV jingles, you know, commercial jingles. I don't want stuff like that to just pop into my head randomly without me having any control over it. And I thought, how can I stop that for good? And I made the choice to stop listening to all mainstream music. Even all the music I used to listen to. All the stuff that I really liked a lot and loved. Late 80s, 90s music. You know, all of the 80s type music. But also I got into a lot of grunge and some metal. Metallica, Megadeth, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, even Iron Maiden, lots of different bands. I mean, I also listened to some other lighter rock stuff. I mean, just like everybody else, basically, right? But I decided that having those songs popping into my mind randomly wasn't helping my life. If you really think about it, 99.99% of all love songs aren't about love at all. They're about negative things. If you think about all the most popular songs that are about relationships and love, they are really terrible. If you look at the lyrics and you think about them, they're terrible. So I decided instead to write my own and follow my own paradigm. And now, when I hop in my van, I have a couple of CDs that are burned into the hard drive there. And if you were like, CDs? Yeah, because I'm in Japan. We still like CDs here. And basically, I burn my own CDs on my computer, and I put them in my van. And when I'm driving around, if I'm not listening to Astros podcasts, news updates, and audiobooks, then I'm listening to these songs. And I've got a collection of probably about 25 or 30 right now, and I'm growing my collection. But if you guys are interested in these songs, I might make them available for download for like a really cheap price, like $1 or something. I have to find a way to maybe upload an entire collection of songs, maybe like 10 songs, like a complete album, so to speak, put them all together and make them available for download for you guys and gals at a very cheap price, like $1. That way, I don't know exactly how to do that on the download yet, but I'll work on it. You're welcome, John. Yes, thank you so much. That's the reason why I made them. I made them to be beautiful and uplifting and inspiring. All those things wrapped together in a nice taquera arandas taco. Let's see here. The pressure is indeed on Valdez in more ways than one, but he doesn't have Salazar behind the plate today. That's right, Daryl. Houston, just like the Astros weather, or the Houston weather, the Astros weather, just like the Houston weather. It's either going to be hot or hotter, or hotter with rain. There's Jake the Rake. I'm going to have to get his jersey. You know what? I want Jake. I love Altuve, and I'd love to see him do phenomenal in the World Series. I'd love to see them go all the way through the World Series and for Altuve to have just a stellar playoff, you know. But how awesome would it be for Jake Myers to get World Series MVP? Wouldn't that be amazing? Would you guys love to see that? I would rather see Jake Myers World Series MVP than anybody else on the Astros team. And I'm an Altuve lover. I would love to see Jake Myers World Series MVP. You talk about increasing your value. Holy cow, he'd have like the best year of any player in MLB history, I think. Last year he was like, he's just the backup guy, basically. And then this year he just blows it up. Paul says the weather's down today. Usually take my dog to the park, but it's raining too hard. He's miserable. I understand that. Fromber is not a fan of Cesar Salazar with his lunch. Well, looks like the Rangers are wearing the old baby blue today. They're sporting the Oilers colors. Jeremy Pena will be up at the plate in just a moment. We are just moments away from the first pitch of the game. Hey, Brendan, how's it going? Good to see you. Paul says, I want Altuve to get the 3 home runs needed to become the all-time postseason home run leader. Cement his first ballot Hall of Fame stats. Yes, absolutely for sure. But, Paul, you know what? I believe firmly that he's going to get that. I believe he's definitely going to get it. So maybe he gets all 3 of them this postseason, and then Jake Myers wins the World Series MVP. That'd be awesome. Wouldn't that be like a really awesome thing to see? Pena is at the plate. The first pitch from Corbin on the way. Inside, ball one, 89 miles an hour. A little too hot in here for my headphones to be completely on. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 82 at the bottom of the zone. Right below the zone. More like. The changeup gets Pena swinging. Let's get that flash emoji in the chat. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Come on now. The slider almost in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Paul, I see what you're saying. I think I caught the gist of what you were saying, but thank you for clarifying because, yeah, you're right. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he can get there quicker with extra stuff, you know. Pena strikes out. Come on. I'm starting to feel like saying Pena strikes out is becoming as common as saying Walker strikes out. That's no good. 4-pitch strikeout for Corbin against Pena. And that brings up your daddy. Not your mama, your daddy. Yeah, the voting is petty. First pitch to Jordan. Way outside on the fastball. Jordan has great success against sliders and left-handers. I mean, he's destroying them. Batting average consistently over 300. This year, 556 against the slider. 1.111 OPS. That's nuts. 2-0 pitch. Here it comes. Outside the cutter. 3-0. He's not pitching to him. Corbin hasn't put anything close to the zone. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. That's in the lower inside corner on the sinker. 3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. Here comes the toss. In the dirt, ball 4. Jordan seemed to know that he wasn't going to get a pitch there. 1 out base runner. This is what I was talking about before Jordan came back, when everybody was asking if Jordan was really going to matter that much in the Astros lineup. And one of the main reasons, one of the main benefits, if not the main benefit of having Jordan, is how he protects the other batters, and that's a perfect example. Jose Altuve, my hero, at the plate. 89-mile-per-hour cutter right in the center of the zone. This is a guy that I know can figure it out. He's gone through so much. Not only can he do it, he deserves it. Low and outside, 1-1. Daryl says, I'm surprised they let them wear their orange jersey with the Rangers wearing the blue. Works for me. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Low and inside on the cutter. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Altuve. 1 out and Jordan on second base. I feel like I haven't seen a big hit from Altuve in forever. Come on, Altuve. I believe in you. Here's the pitch. That's hit hard to left field, but right at the left fielder, he's able to reach up and grab it. That was hard struck, but just to the wrong spot. Carlos Correa comes to the plate, 2 away. Jordan still on first base. "13 pitches for Corbin. He's got the baker's dozen. Here comes number 14. Low and outside. Ball 1. Shake, you're right. We needed Jordan, but we also need Jake Myers. Jake Myers adds more, so much more also. Jordan scares most pitchers. They wake up in a cold sweat. I imagine they do. Outside, check swing. He holds back 2-0. You know, the sucky thing for these pitchers is that they wake up in a cold sweat before the game, and then after the game, they wake up in a cold sweat having nightmares about it. Before and after, they get pre and post nightmares about Jordan. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to South Korea. Low and inside. I don't know why he called that a ball. I mean a strike. Should have been a ball 3. Correa didn't like it. You can see it's out of the zone by a couple of inches at least. It seems like Correa himself gets way too many pitches outside the zone that are called strike. That's up the middle, and it's going to be caught by the center fielder on the run. So the Astros get the bat on it a couple of times. Altuve and Correa put the bat on it pretty hard, but nowhere. Empty. No hits. One walk. Basically an intentional walk to Jordan. And right now it is 0-0. Framber Valdez is on the mound for the Stros today. He'll be on the mound in just a moment. Bottom of the first coming up. It's baseball. Just hit the ball. Should be on a shirt. Yeah. It's baseball. Just hit the ball. Yeah, Jake Myers' defense is freaking awesome. He scared the crap out of me yesterday with that catch in center field. Yeah, I saw that Seattle, I think they jumped on the Braves in the second inning, right? Weren't they up like 8-0 in the second inning? They ended that game fast. Daryl, the goose might be out in the first inning, but hopefully we can round it up. Round up those geese. And cook them. Cook that goose. Cook that goose. Anything else going on right now around the league? These games haven't started yet. Nothing significant other than the... Hey, look, the White Sox tied up the Tigers. It's 3-3 in the fourth. That's nice. Yankees are beating the Blue Jays 4-3 in the fourth. Okay. Top of the ninth. This game is pretty much done. If the Braves can come back and score 12 runs, or rather 11, and win that game, that would be amazing. Here's the first pitch from Framber. He's facing Wyatt Langford. Bottom of the zone. That looked below the zone. Called a strike. That's okay. I don't mind. He's going to do it to Correa. Might as well do it to Langford. 0-1 is the count. 4 days rest for Framber. There comes the 0-1. 91 at the bottom of the zone. Strike 2. And there's Garcia hanging out in the... Is that the dugout? Looks like the dugout. Yeah. Here's the next pitch. Curveball in the dirt inside. 1-2. Brendan says finally Christian Walker and Yiner separated out in the lineup today. Finally, yes. Even though it was with a right-hander, it's okay. It's Jake Myers. I'm okay with it. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. That's a 4-pitch strikeout to Wyatt Langford on that changeup. That was a nice toss. Nice. Alejandro wants to know, did you see the Orioles versus Dodgers 9th inning? I didn't watch the highlights, but I looked at the details. I looked at the play-by-play details on the ESPN scoreboard, but but I didn't actually watch the highlights. I didn't care enough to watch the highlights. I was watching LSU highlights. Nice, 91 miles an hour. Cody Freeman at the plate. 4 of 5 pitches are strikes from Fromber. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Freeman goes after that one, bounces it to Correa. Nice short hop pitch, or short hop catch rather, and he pitches it over to first base. Nice throw. Correa's got a nice gun. 2 away. 6 pitches for Valdez. 2 outs. Here comes the first pitch to the next batter. That's in the dirt and bounces to the backstop. Josh Young at the plate. Josh Jung. Josh Jung. Jung. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Fromber. Ooh. Almost 2 inches below the zone, but strike 1. I guess we're going to get that today both ways from that umpire. Below the zone, outside the zone. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's about 5 inches out of the zone. He's not going to call that one, I guess. 2 balls and 1 strike. Daryl says with that blue, they look like the Royals. Interesting. Maybe the Blue Jays? Do the Blue Jays have uniforms like that? That's a tapper back to the mound. What a nice backhand play by Fromber. That was a good catch. Nice little backhand by Fromber. That was actually a really good catch. We don't get to see a replay? I was more impressed by that than the commentators were. That was a bouncer to the mound. Fromber backhanded it on the short hop and lobbed it over to first base. How often do we see Fromber make such a great defensive play like that? I like it. That's the end of the inning. Fromber gets out of that with less than 10 pitches. Nice. Astros will be up to bat in just a moment, starting with one Mr. Christian Walker. Jake the Rake Myers on deck. Mr. Baseball himself. And Yiner, give him a shiner, Diaz. Valdez with 1 strikeout so far. 10 pitches. 70% of his pitches have been strikes. That's nice. Can you imagine if he had a 90-pitch game and 70% of his pitches were strikes? Complete game. 9 innings. Shutout. No-hitter. Oh my gosh. I think I just predicted the game. Wouldn't that be... I think there would be like a conspiracy going on. Don't you think? If Fromber Valdez throws a 9-hit shutout no-hitter, don't you think that there must be like a conspiracy behind that? Wouldn't it seem to be that way because of what happened the other day with Salazar? Either that or Fromber just gets so locked in. He really wants that bag, baby. First pitch to Walker on the way. On the outside edge, outside of the zone, called a strike. The umpire's being consistently outside the zone. Here comes the pitch. That's in the zone, in the bottom of the zone, but a swing and a miss. 0-2 is the count to Walker. For those of you who have not done so yet on the live stream, please like the video. We've got about 80 watching or listening in right now, and I'm not sure how many likes we have. Let me double check. Only 26 likes. Need more like 60. Here's the pitch to Walker. Inside, swing and a miss. Walker strikes out. Yes. I need a hotkey. I need a hotkey on my keyboard or on my mouse. I can just click it and it says, Walker strikes out. Like a robot voice. Christian Walker strikes out. Christian Walker strikes out. 1 down. Jake the Snake, Jake the Rake, Mr. Baseball at the plate, swinging a miss on the inside. 88 miles an hour on the cutter. The question I have is, how many times will Myers lose his helmet today? Here's the pitch. Hey, does he hold up? Nope, he says he went around, so that's strike 2. That was a Gold Glove strikeout. Oh yeah, okay, I see. I'll fix the chat. Here's the pitch. This is tapped towards third. Myers almost lost his helmet. He's not able to beat the throw to first, and that's going to be out number 2. Yes, I forgot to do that. Let me fix my chat. I have to actually copy the link to the chat and put it into my software. I just did that. Should be fixed now. There we go. Now it's fixed. Thank you for letting me know that. I totally forgot. First pitch to Diaz on the outside. Now watch Diaz be the one to get a hit with 2 outs. Walker strikes out. Myers grounds out. Diaz gets a big hit. Diaz bounces it to third. He fires it to first. That was a nice play by Young to backhand it on the short hop and throw Diaz out. So that's 3 up and 3 down, nothing doing for the Astros. Still hitless. First inning, no hits, no errors, no runs. Top of the second, no hits, no errors, no runs. Bottom of the second coming up in just a moment. Framber Valdez will be on the mound and he will be facing the double cheeseburger, followed by Kyle Higashioka. You know, it's funny because this guy, Higashioka, in Japanese, the word Higashi means east. And I live in Higashi, Hiroshima. So literally, it's East Hiroshima. I live in Higashi Hiroshima-shi, which means East Hiroshima City. So I think that's funny. Higashioka. Higashioka. Omoshiroi desu ne. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, Richard Brown had a ton of pitches by the third inning. When is the Texans game starting? Should be starting, what maybe like a few minutes? Or an hour later? When does it start? I have no idea. It's almost 4 a.m. here. Maybe in an hour? I'm just guessing. Shrewdly says, Walker struck out, but hard to lay off when you have to defend a giant strike zone. Yeah, you just have to train yourself. That's the thing. They need to train themselves to adjust to the umpires. You know, and I was wondering the other day, do they also do the scout report on the umpires? They should. Because I think that these umpires are probably called pretty consistently, right? An umpire that likes the outside edge or favors a bigger zone or a tighter zone, shouldn't they know that before the game starts? And then just get mentally prepared for that and have a little bit of batting practice with that in mind? You would think so. That's what I would think. I never did that when I was in high school, but I didn't go to a school with good coaches. Man, if I could go back in high school, I think I'd be like Jake the Rake. With all the knowledge I have now. Double cheeseburger at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the toss. That's a little too far outside for the umpire's liking. 2-0. Eric says, greeting from section 115 at Globe Life. Just checking in to drop a like and say hi. Hey, Eric. Enjoy the game. Hopefully we'll see you on the screen. We see you on the screen, yell Geaux Stros. Double cheeseburger fouls that one out of play. It's 2-1. You know, I need somebody to go to one of the Astros games and hold up a Geaux Stros sign. Geaux. That would be freaking awesome. If I saw that on the TV, I'd freak out. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Woo, 94. Nice changeup from Better. I liked that. I didn't like what you did to Salazar, but I liked that pitch. Here's the 2-2. I'm not going to let that one go for a while. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? I say no. No, he didn't go. The next pitch will be the 16th of the game for Fromber. There's the villain. The one that everybody boos when he comes to the plate. Here's the full count. That's right in there and hits straight up in the air. It looks like it's playable on the right side. Doobie is underneath it. Good play. That's how you do it right there. You run all the way over there as quick as you can. You get underneath it, camp out, and make a good solid catch. Little nod from Fromber there. It's nice to see him thanking his teammate for a good play. 1 out. Higashioka comes to the plate. Below the zone to Higashioka, it's 1-0. And Eric says, it's so much more exciting to see Walker strike out live. I bet. Brendan says 2 hours. Oh, 2 hours from now. Okay. Here comes the toss. That's hit hard into left field, but way up high. Myers floats over into left center and grabs it. That one turned into a duck pretty quick. Went straight up and then became a floater. 2 away. Dylan Moore comes to the plate. It's a little warm. I need some more cool air, I does. Let's see. Yeah, that seems to be okay right there. First pitch to Dylan Moore on the way, the 19th for Fromber. Whoa, low and inside. He's standing there looking at it like, what was that? Welcome to the club, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Here's the 0-1. That was low inside in the dirt. Umpire should have called it strike two. That would have been funny. Daryl says double no hitters until the 8th, and the Astros unload 11 in the 9th. Oh man, I'd love to see 11 more runs for the Astros, but I don't want to see them wait that long. A little outside, 2-1. Sweet Richard, I'm passing to my delinquent kid. Are you being serious? If you're being serious, then that explains what I've been trying to find out for like the past couple of weeks. 2-2 with that strike. Dylan Moore calls a timeout. Fromber takes a quick trip off the mound to grab the rosin bag. If your delinquent kid is going to get on here, I'm going to put him in timeout. I think we need to take a vote in the chat. Is Sweet Richard really two different people? Or just a strange person with multiple personalities? 2 balls and 2 strikes. The foul ball keeps it at 2-2. Here comes the next pitch to Moore. That's lined into right field, and that'll be the first hit. No shutouts. I'm sorry, no hitter for Fromber today. But the shutout is intact. Two-seam fastball. Not too much movement on it. Sweet Richard, that's called French, but I wouldn't expect you to know that. Brendan says by the 6th inning, the Texans game should start. Maybe, or the 6th inning. I see. Here comes the 25th. Moore is stealing, and they let him go. They said they had a good jump there. I didn't see it. It was off screen. You can see it here. Yeah, as soon as he kicked his leg up. Here's the next pitch. Low, 1-1. Jonah Heim is at the plate. Happy Monday to you, Daniel, from Japan. Michael, Fromber has not yet crossed up Diaz, but it's okay. It's only the 2nd inning. There's still time. That's in there. That was a nice fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runner on second. Diaz wanted to make absolutely sure he had that strike whenever the runner was stealing. He framed it up to make sure, but I feel like there was no need for him to frame that since the umpire is calling them so low. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Tapped at the plate. Look at the umpire catch this foul ball. Nice catch, ump. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. But the ball gets away. Yiner's going to have to throw, and he slips on the Texans logo, and he throws the ball away, and that's going to score a run. Are you kidding me? Can you believe that? Yiner slips on the Texas Rangers logo after the strikeout when he tries to get the ball, and when he throws it to first. This was like a series of unfortunate events. You can't see it from that angle there. Walker couldn't handle the throw to first. It got past him. Jonah Heim gets to first. Moore ran hard all the way from second base, and he scored. 1-0 on an error. That's hit high in the air. The very first pitch to Michael Hellman. That's going to be taken by Jake Myers. And that's out number 3. Well, the reason he threw it is because it would have been out number 3. But the problem is that Heim was in the way. The angle that Diaz had to throw it was going to be really difficult for him to get it there in a good spot for Walker to catch it with his foot on the bag. And, of course, it didn't work out. So, Diaz should have held the ball. He should have. He should have held the ball. But that stupid Texas Rangers logo made it slick on the grass, and he slipped when he tried to stop. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? Brendan says, who do we get if we trade Fromber? We don't get anything. We can't trade Fromber. Fromber's about to be a free agent, and there's no way we're going to trade him in the next month. We'd have to trade him before the playoffs. That's not going to happen, Brendan, so that's wishful thinking. Yeah, Prodigy, you're right. It was garbage. 1 hit for the Strangers in the 2nd inning. 1 error for the Astros. That was a throwing error on the part of Diaz. 1 run scores, 1-0. So the Strangers get their 1 run for the day. Shrewdly says weird stuff on the infield every time Fromber's on the mound. Remember the 22 playoffs? Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is, and this time it didn't involve Fromber at all. I mean, in the last inning, he made a really good defensive play. He got the backhand short hop and threw it to first, no problem. But this inning, he didn't directly have anything to do with the play. Diaz should have caught the ball. Just didn't. Cam Smith is the next batter facing Corbin. Of course, that's a strike, a little below the zone. 0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Inside. Brendan says next year. What about next year? Fromber's not going to be here next year. This is his last year. He's a free agent next year. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Cam. That's on the inside edge. Strike 2. Cam, you got to swing the bat, my friend. You can't take those pitches. 87-mile-per-hour cutter on the inside. I mean, come on. He's gift wrapping it for you. Just swing at that. Just rip it down the line or something. Here's the 1-2. 89 miles an hour. Fouled off down the third baseline. Yeah, the Braves gave up, I guess. They brought in a position player or something. Just started lobbing the ball to the Mariners. Here's the 1-2. Outside and low. 2-2. Richard, I would not say that octopus is a delicacy. You can get octopus sushi and some octopus foods that are not delicacies. They're like snacks, finger foods, and that's a strikeout for Cam Smith. 82-mile-per-hour changeup, maybe about 4 inches off the plate. Cam Smith chases it, does his best impersonation of Yainer Diaz, and that's 1 away. Doobie does the leg kick, fouls that one off. 0-1 is the count. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the third. Yeah, he was. It's too bad that he wasn't crazy pumped on this last at bat. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Doobie. Check swing, did he go? They say yes, he did, and that's 0-2. Yeah, I don't like it either. Too tough, too chewy. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'll tell you what you guys can have, though, if you ever have the chance, if you're in Hiroshima. Have the fried oysters. The fried oysters here are awesome. And I'm a guy who doesn't like oysters. That's hit into right field. Is it going to get down? No, just barely foul. Man, Doobie just misses a Doobie double. Mauricio Dubal. Count remains 1-2. Have you guys ever had chicken feet? That's basically like a delicacy in China. It's disgusting, I think. That one's in the dirt. 2-2 to Doobie with 1 out. Nobody on. Squid and squid balls are very popular not far from here. Fouled at the plate. The count remains 2-2. There is a city here called Mihara. They have a food festival every year. It's a very, very cool little event. The streets are completely filled with food vendors up and down both sides. If you walk through there and you just have like a little bit of everything, you will become full so fast. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Dubon. That's in the dirt again. Full count. Corbin is actually knocking at the door of 40 pitches here in the top of the third. This next one will be the 39th. Yeah, Michael, it's funny because some places in China where they eat a lot of stuff that most people don't eat, especially in South China, even Chinese people in the middle, central, and northern China, they'll say, yeah, southern Chinese people eat everything. Doobie bounces that one to short. He fires it to first. Is Doobie safe? That was close. He barely gets thrown out. 2 away. But you know, like frog legs, pig's feet, you know, intestines and organ meats and stuff like that. All of those things in Louisiana, I saw all that stuff. My dad ate a lot of that stuff, and I didn't like all those things. Top of the batting order is back up with Jeremy Pena. Flash round 2. Let's see if he can do something. Here's a 1-0. Up and in, almost got him. 2-0. But whenever I was in China, they eat all sorts of strange stuff. They eat basically 100% of the animal, every part of the animal. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Oh, how can you call that a strike? That was 2 inches down and 2 inches out of the zone. Called a strike. What a terrible pitch to be swinging at. You're talking about something that's barely above the ankles, and I'm not kidding. Right in the middle of the plate, Pena hits it to shallow right. Second baseman goes out and grabs it for out number 3. Man, this umpire, he's making me really not like this game. But yeah, I can't tell you how many times I went out to eat. I mean, they like pig's blood, duck's blood. They also like that. It looks kind of like red, dark red tofu, but it's basically solidified pig's blood or duck's blood. They also like this thing called smelly tofu, and smelly does not even begin to describe what it smells like. And I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. Trust me. You can look it up online if you don't believe me, but I lived in China for almost 7 years. You can be walking down the street in the city, and suddenly you smell something absolutely hideous, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? I remember the first time this happened to me. I was walking with a colleague, a Chinese lady. She started laughing. And she said, that's smelly tofu. And I said, what? And she said, you don't know smelly tofu? And I said, no. And she said, come on, you have to try it. And I said, my God, no. I was forced to try smelly tofu 3 different times, but after that, I refused. I never tried it again. But here's the thing. You can smell the street vendors cooking it from like several blocks away, and that's not an exaggeration. And the idea in China is that the worse it smells, the better it is. That's the thing. So the street vendors who are cooking this garbage, they do everything they possibly can to make it smell stronger and worse than anybody else's tofu. So they are willing to do whatever it takes, and that even includes putting questionable ingredients into their food. And yes, I'm sure you're surprised to learn that about China, but that's the way it is. Here comes the first pitch to Ezekiel Duran. He bounces that one up the middle. Pena has to fire to first quickly, and they get him right at the last moment. Duran thought he was safe, but Pena was too quick. The flash was on it. 1 up, 1 down. Wyatt Langford back to the plate. The top of the Strangers' swing and miss order. But yeah, the first 2 times I had street food in China, I got sick, and I was sick for a week each time. And after that, I was like, I'm not eating street food anymore. So I only ate at nice restaurants. My Chinese friends thought that I was crazy because they said that's way too expensive. But as an English teacher in China, you make a lot better than the average salary, actually. sometimes as much as 5 or 6 times what Chinese people make. First pitch to Wyatt Langford is a strike on the outside edge. Here's the 0-1. What? That one was right below the zone on a curveball, and he called it a ball. Oh my gosh, don't do this now. So the umpire's calling him out of the zone, but now he's calling him inconsistent. That was only like an inch below the zone. Here's the pitch. Way outside on the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike to Langford. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 3rd. I'm not interested in wild culinary experiences, Michael, to be honest. Here's the 2-1. Low and inside, below the zone, but called a strike. That's what I'm talking about. 2-2. Japan is the right level of wild for me as far as food is concerned. They're not really big on getting too crazy. Actually, maybe this will blow your mind. In China, eating crawfish is very popular. Chinese love crawfish. They're quite surprised to learn that crawfish is so popular in Louisiana and some other places. In the dirt, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Langford. But in Japan, nobody eats crawfish because Japanese think that that's dirty. That's like eating roaches, dirty roaches, which is fine by me because I actually don't like crawfish. Isn't it crazy? I spent so much time in Louisiana and I don't like crawfish. I tried, I just didn't like it. Inside, ball 4. First walk by Fromber, and that's a runner on first base with 1 out. Langford walks. He's 0 for 1 with a walk today. Cody Freeman comes to the plate with 1 on and 1 out. Langford is a stealer. He's got 18. He's not slow. Here's the pitch. Below the zone. Ball 1. Chocolate meat. That's disgusting, Michael. Don't mess up my stomach with that kind of talk. This is bounced up the middle. Could be a double play. Pena steps on the bag and gets it himself. An unassisted double play by the Flash. And that eliminates the base runner and the batter. How do you like them apples? I think that I will pull up a ladder, climb the tree, pick one of those. That's how much I like them apples. That's the end of 3, guys and gals. 1 hit for the Strangers, a single to right field. 1 walk. 1 run. The Astros have 1 error. We have more errors than runs. And more errors than hits. Yordan Alvarez is due up, followed by Altuve and Correa. Yordan. Then Altuve. And then Correa. Yeah, Michael, you're right. If it doesn't get past my nose, it doesn't go in my mouth. I'm the same. But you know, there's another thing. Do you guys know jackfruit? They also call it durian. It's a really, really big fruit. It's kind of malformed. It's kind of spiky. And when it smells really, really, really bad. Chinese love it, love it, love it so much. They love it so much. But actually, it's not allowed on the market in Japan. I think that if you want to sell and buy durian, you have to go through some kind of special channels, because once again, Japan is a place that doesn't want to disturb the public order, and that includes things like smelly tofu and durian. These things stink like garbage. I mean, if you take dirty old socks and dirty old jock straps and underwear and rotten garbage and rotten meat and all of these things and mix them together and cook them, that's what it smells like when they're cooking smelly tofu, and I'm not exaggerating. It's the absolute 100% truth. Look it up. You don't believe me, look it up. They take pride in how rank it smells. Too far inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Jordan. Small wonder they like durian so much in China. It is a huge favorite. But in Japan, no. Smelly tofu, no. Thank God. Ooh, swing and a miss. 86 miles an hour on the outside edge. Jordan tried to go after that one. Not a great pitch, but it was close. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody on, no outs. Punches it up the middle. Is it going to drop? It looks like it might. No, Duran makes a catch. Wow. He just saved a hit to center field, left center. A nice soft hit. If that had been hit hard, a line drive, that would have been perfect. But Jordan just floated it too much. Duran was able to get out there and catch it. Man, he was playing deep, too. That's the reason why he was able to get out there. He was already on the grass. He started on the grass. He didn't have as far to go as I thought. But still, decent catch. Altuve comes to the plate. 0 for 1. With a long, fast line drive to left field. Here's the first toss. Come on, don't swing at that. Slider low and inside, almost in the dirt. 0-1. Yeah, you're right, Michael. Smells nasty, tastes about the same. Prodigy, right. Durian vomit, for sure. He fouls that one off. 0-2. How many times do we have to see Altuve with the 0-2 count? You know, if you can... Maybe, Mr. Page, maybe if you can completely cover your nose before you ever get around the durian and then you eat it, maybe then. But once you smell it, that's strike 3 on the outside edge. That's a 3-pitch strikeout to Altuve. I'm not sure what's going on with Jose. He's like the poster child for all of the Astros hitting problems right now. Well, Michael, you say it's an acquired taste and everyone is different, but it's not about acquired taste. It's about the smell. That's a grounder to third on the very first pitch. Correa's thrown out at first. 3 up and 3 down. Very easy inning for Patrick Corbin. He just passed 50 pitches. The Astros haven't done anything through 4 innings. 1 walk. No hits. No runs. Nothing. No hits. No runs. No blades. No bows. Leave your weapons here. If anybody can tell me what movie that's from, then you are awesome. No blades. No bows. Leave your weapons here. No blades. No bows. Leave your weapons here. Yeah, Daryl. Daryl says, are you kidding? He caught that. Yep. Michael says, take note, Jordan. That's how you catch a fly ball. Yeah, and Jordan's was easier to catch, right? He was right on it. Could see it. It was right in front of him. Yeah, Ranger. Well, extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. Maybe just a little lucky right now. Just a little. If they were extremely lucky, they'd be up 5-0 already on Fromber. But yeah, I do agree that they're definitely getting lucky on both sides of the ball. Well, yeah, Michael, I've had it. I've had durian. I've even had durian pizza by accident. I thought it was cheese pizza. I ordered what I thought was cheese pizza, but it was cheese and durian. Talk about sacrilege. Thank God I never saw smelly tofu pizza. I told a friend of mine in China, I said, is there such a thing as smelly tofu pizza? And he looked at me and he goes, have you seen that? He thought it existed because he really wanted to get it. And I said, no, I was just wondering because if nobody makes it, I could sell smelly tofu pizza and I could make tons of money. And he goes, oh man, I'd love to try that. And I said, you're disgusting. But my friends were nice. They never ate that garbage when they were around me. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the toss. Wow. He bounced that one before the plate. Josh Young at the plate. He's in the batter's box. You know, the way Frambo Valdez is throwing the ball right now is not very good with 2 balls and 0 strikes. I want to see a strike right now. That is ball 3. You're coming at it all wrong. Throw a strike. 3-0 to Young. Hey, Jason, good job. Robin Hood. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. That is all. Did I say Costner? Kevin Costner. All the way back to Jake the Rake, who scrapes it in for out number 1 right at the warning track. Young drove it deep, drove it far, but Myers got it. Har, har, har. Double cheeseburger back to the plate. You know, guys, after that game yesterday, I went and watched the Locked On Rangers postcast for 20 minutes. It was about a 20-minute podcast. He fouls out one off 0-1. One of the chatters in the live chat, that's a little outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on. One of the live chatters in the live chat mentioned that at least 3 players, including Berger, need to lose about 40 pounds each. And the guy doing the podcast said, well, that's a topic for another day. It's funny that Berger's not even the biggest guy out there. He's like half the size of that other dude. Tellez? Yeah, Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy Tellez. This is grounded through the hole on the left side. It figures. You got beat by a burger. So the Fromburglar versus the burger, the double cheeseburger. Fromburglar gets Fromburgled. Fromburglar gets Fromburgled. 1 out, 1 runner on for Kyle Higashioka. Don't give them any ideas, says Daryl. As long as they keep it in China, keep it the heck away from me. Low and inside, ball 1. Yeah, Michael, it is good to see Myers back. If you build it, they will come. Yes, that's right. I wonder if Kevin Costner likes durian fruit or smelly tofu. Prodigy, those are deep questions. We don't do philosophy on this channel. Can't ask big questions like that. How about that double play? While we're sitting here debating the deep philosophical question of whether or not Kevin Costner likes smelly tofu and durian, Correa fires it to Doobie, and then Doobie fires it to Walker for a double play to end the inning. They slice up the double cheeseburger, and that's it for the bottom of the 4th. 1-0, 2 hits for the Strangers. The Astros are down by a huge single slice of cheese. Or you could say a single smelly piece of durian. Or a block of duck blood. Just take your pick. Take your pick. Shrewdly says, I knew the line. Oh, they're doing the stand up for cancer thing. Ah, okay, I see. What is this? I stand up for survivors. I stand up. Hey, where's the... I don't see a I stand up for Geaux Stros sign. Survivors. Well, I guess that's me. I'm a survivor. I'm still around. You know, it's interesting. Well, I say interesting, not in a well, that's interesting kind of way or a funny way. It's just it's interesting in a sad kind of way or a weird way. For me, it's weird, but I had a friend in high school many years ago. We're talking more than 30 years ago. One of my friends at that time, I was diagnosed with renal cancer more than 3 years ago. And then less than, let's see, maybe about 7 months later, I found out, I got a message from somebody in my family, and they said, "Hey, did you hear about your friend Tony?" And I said, "Tony from high school?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "No, I didn't hear anything about him. I haven't talked to him in a long, long time." I mean, I literally hadn't talked to him in like, I don't know, since 2007. So it had been a really long time. And I said, "No, I haven't." Maybe 15 years, is that right? About 15 years or so. And they said, "Well, he got liver cancer and he died." And I said, "Well, I'm sad to hear that. When did he die?" "Well, he just passed away like in January." And I said, "When did he find out about the liver cancer?" "In November." Holy cow. He found out and was dead 2 months later. That's a strange feeling when you're diagnosed with cancer. And then that was in May of 2022. And then in November of that year, one of my classmates, who's actually a little younger than me, about a year younger than me, he was diagnosed with liver cancer. And then he passed away 2 months later. Right now, it's been over 3 years. The doctor told me about a year and a half ago that I would probably live 2 years max. And that was with medicine. I haven't been taking medicine now for several months. There's no way I can afford it. I don't have insurance. But it's okay. I'm taking supplements, vitamins, and minerals, and I've changed my diet a lot, changed my mindset. But it's strange, isn't it, to think about somebody that you knew so well, a friend, a classmate, a little younger than you, and they're not here anymore. Somebody needs to stand for Fromber. Salazar stood for Fromber the other day, but Fromber turned his back on him. Christian Walker at the plate takes that first pitch inside. He looks over the dugout and he's like, "Yeah, that was not a good pitch." He calls timeout. Gregory, Gregory says Fromber's got to be snagged by the Rockies next year. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Too far inside. 0-2 is the count. That was a half arse swing by Walker. But I think it's like the Astros commentators are saying right now. It's an almost unhittable zone. That's in the dirt. 1-2. Costner's Best Western was his first one, Silverado. Did any of you like Dances with Wolves? I liked Dances with Wolves. It's a long movie, but it's enjoyable. A little high, 2-2. Nobody on. It's the top of the fifth. Walker is at the plate as the leadoff batter this inning with the even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Corbin. Low and inside, full count. Yeah, Michael, you're right. I always say about getting older, it's a double-edged sword. You know, what's the expression? Youth is wasted on the young, right? Uh-oh, is it going to be a hit? No! Nice line drive to Langford in left field. Wow, reminiscent of Altuve's smack. Nice solid swing on a full count. That at-bat was actually really good by Walker. He got rung up on a pitch that was not a strike. He worked the count back from 0-2 to 3-2, and then he ripped it out to left field, but unlucky. Mr. Baseball comes to the plate. What are you doing there with the half swing? Slider below the zone, and that's a swing and a miss for Myers. 0-1. Here comes the next pitch. Why are you swinging at that? The changeup, low and outside. Now it's 0-2 just like that. Michael, you think so? You think Texas is going to try to get Fromber? Oh, man, if Fromber went to Texas, I think the Astros would hate him forever, plus a day. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, 1-2. If Fromber goes to, like, the Mariners or the Rangers, the Yankees, the Dodgers, any of those teams, I think they're really going to hate him. Myers hits it up the middle, and it is Jake Myers that finally comes through for the Astros. First hit. There you go, Jake. There you go. Heck yes. Look on his face was hilarious. I'm surprised his helmet didn't come off. It bounced around, but it didn't come off. Myers is on first base with one out. Give him a shiner, Yiner. Here comes the toss. He goes up the middle in the very first pitch. It looks playable. Freeman grabs it. Myers has to stay at first. 2 away. Cam Smith comes to the plate. How about another triple, Cam? Crank it up, Cam. Just crank it up. Yes, Dances with Wolves was a great movie. Absolutely. I heard the soundtrack before I ever actually saw the movie. That's the funny thing. A friend of mine, his mom had the soundtrack, and I was like, oh, I like movie soundtracks. And she said, you can borrow it if you want. 92, right in there. It was on cassette tape. I took it home to listen to it, and I was like, this is really great music. I think I want to see the movie. And then I saw the movie after that. And it was interesting watching the movie because I knew all of the music already. Pretty interesting. Here comes 0-1 pitch to Cam. Myers is stealing second base, and the ball bounces away. He slides in there, but it's unnecessary. 15 stolen bases for Myers. Isn't it funny that he can be out for so long and he now has 15 stolen bases? That's crazy. The stolen base leader on the Rangers has 18. Now 19, I think. Myers has 15. And he was out for a long time. Absolutely amazing. Runner in scoring position for Cam. Crank it up, Cam. Outside, 2-1. Before Cam went cold, he was leading the Astros with a nearly 400 batting average when he had runners in scoring position. Let's see if he can regain his former glory. Cam Smith, I command you to crank it up. Not like that. No, no, no. 2-2. That ball was inside. Swing and a miss. Tommy wants homie. Yes, he do. Check swing. Did he hold up? They say it was a foul tip. Foul tip, strike. That didn't hit the ground? I guess not. Foul tip caught by the catcher, so it didn't matter if he went around or not. Strike 3. Cam Smith strikes out on a garbage pitch. Almost in the dirt. And we have a lobster. We officially have 2 lobsters now. Is it just 2 lobsters? Or no, we have more than that. We had 3? 3 lobsters. That's right, because Diaz flew out with Myers on. So the Astros have 4. I'm sorry, 4 lobsters. Rangers have 3. So the Astros have 4 lobsters, no runs. Good times with Isaac Paredes. Baby, come back. Isaac, come back. Oof. Gregory says that maybe Walker's taking hitting tips from Altuve. Well, as long as he listens to the good stuff and not current Altuve. Early season hot Altuve would be fine. Yes, he did get a hit last night, Michael, and an RBI. And he scored a run. Shrewdly says DeGrom is a free agent, I believe. Yeah, Shrewdly, I'm not a fan of Avatar. I don't understand the appeal of Avatar. People talk about it like it's some kind of spiritual journey or something. I saw the first one, and I thought it was so-so. I don't understand why it was as big as it was. I never saw the second one, wasn't interested, and now there's another one coming out. I don't get it. It's kind of like the Fast and Furious. They just keep coming out with movies, and I don't understand why. 1 ball, no strikes to Dylan Moore. Frommer's back on the mound with 50 pitches. Here's the 52nd. Low and inside in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Abria says, is it just me or the Rangers channel the most insufferable thing to listen to? Which one? So that's a little far inside and low, but called a strike. Shouldn't be surprised, Mr. Moore. 2 balls and 1 strike. If it's within a few inches of the zone, it could be a strike. A little low. I can't believe you didn't get the call there, but it's 3-1. I've listened to just the Locked On Rangers a couple of times, and I haven't had a problem with that guy. Actually, the postcast. The Locked On Rangers podcast guy. Full count with that foul ball. Well, remember that the Braves did beat the Submariners yesterday, right? So, and I think a good bit of those final runs are going to come off of the position players. That's grounded down third. It's going to be fair. Correa scoops it up and makes the throw. Good play. It stays fair, but Correa is able to snatch it up and fire it over to first. Walker stretches out and makes the play. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Jonah Heim comes to the plate in just a moment. Right now it is, shrewdly, Jose Altuve. Super Smurfs Avatar movie. Here comes the first pitch to Heim. That's bounced to Pena. He gets it, no problem. The throw over to first, a little low, but it's okay. Got there. Out number 2. Michael Hellman, the next victim up. Marduk, the lobster count is actually not very high right now because neither team has had many players on. 4 for the Astros, 3 for the Rangers. I'll post it in just a minute. Here comes the pitch to Hellman's Mayonnaise. He shows bunt and pulls back to take a strike. 0-1. That's the lobster count right now. Here's the toss. In the dirt. 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Michael at the hell, man. The Hellman. That's right. Get her done. Didn't the Braves beat them in one of the games? Or was the first game maybe? I thought they beat them in the first game. I was thinking the first game was yesterday, but I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it was 2 days ago. But you know, you have to forgive me. It's really early or late here, whatever you want to call it. I didn't sleep, by the way. I stayed up editing the video, and then I just continued on until this game started. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's hit hard in the left field. Back is Jordan. He's able to grab it. Jordan remembered how to catch. Valdez is giving a little bit of gratitude. Jordan remembered how to catch the ball. He floated back and he got it right at the warning track. That was a line drive all the way out to the wall, basically. Good job, Air Jordan. Bottom of the 5th is El Finito. We are done with 5 innings of baseball. Thanks to some goofy plays and errors in the 2nd inning, the Strangers have 1 run on the board. The Astros, thanks to not hitting anything really, have no runs on the board. It's 1-0 going into the top of the 6th. Patrick Corbin, the current Cy Young for the Texas Rangers, will be back on the mound in just a moment with 67 pitches under his belt. He's facing Mauricio Dubon. Jeremy Pena's on deck, followed by Jordan Alvarez. Thank you, Mr. Page. If you can't forgive me, then I'm afraid I'm just going to have to end my live stream and go to bed, because I just can't live with myself. Daryl says time for the bats to come alive. Oh yeah, baby. Gold Glove Jordan. He needs that gold bat today. All we need is a couple of big hits, right? Jordan says, yes, sir. Your wish is my command. That's right, soldier. Go out there and get that home run, soldier. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Forget about the furniture, son. Hit the homer. Forget about those Toyotas and those cars. You hit that homer. Sir, yes, sir. Doobie at the plate. Here's the pitch. Up and in. Called a strike. 0-1. Get the sandpaper out. Yeah. Go all Trammell on it. Here's the pitch. Below the zone in the dirt. 1-1. F-Rod, if we send Cam Smith down, replace him with who? That's my question. Replace him with who? Here comes a 1-1 toss. Doobie takes that one low and outside. 2-1. All right. Maybe we'll have a little something going. It's pretty sad when you get a batter with a 2-1 count and you're like, all right, man, we got something going. That's on the outside. Strike 2. It's another ball completely outside the zone, but it is a strike to the umpire. The umpire has a massive zone, but he doesn't always call it. That's the problem. Here comes the 2-2. A little low. Woo, I thought he was going to ring him up there for a second. He's called pitches lower than that as strikes. There's just no way to know. If you look at this right here, he's been calling pitches lower and further outside than that. Corbin thought he had it. He got upset. It's like, come on, dude. It was really a ball. 3-2 to Doobie. David, right now, the time is 4:53 a.m. Here's the toss. Doobie right up the middle to left center. He could be stretching this to 2. He is on his way to second. And that indeed is a double for Doobie. Another Doobie double. Doobie double. Cha-cha-ching. Cha-cha-ching. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie double. Doobie doobie double. Perfectly placed. Perfectly placed. Boom, boom, boom. He put his head down and ran. Standing up into second. All right, no outs. We have a leadoff runner in scoring position. Pena goes up the middle. That's going to score Doobie. Heck yes, we are going to be tied up. Pena with an RBI single right off the bat. First pitch. How about that? Right off the bat. How about that? The crowd is actually booing right now. What a loser crowd this is, that they would boo on something like that. Rangers fans are special. Right up the middle. Doobie had a great jump. There was no way to get him. Nice, as the middle schoolers used to say. Way back when I used to teach in middle school here in Japan, during the sports practice, you can see all the different sports clubs practicing at the same time. Practicing soccer, volleyball, baseball, basketball, all of these different sports at the same time. And you go out there and you watch the girls play volleyball, and every time they would hit the ball really well, they'd say, "Nice ball, nice ball, nice ball, nice ball." Every once in a while you'd hear the guys say that on the baseball field too. You got a good hit or something. "Nice ball. Your daddy's at the plate. Did you make his dinner? Did you set the plate?" This is hit towards second. He throws it to second, and he goes way over the head of the first baseman. It looks like Jordan's going to be sent to second base. Yes, that's right. Jordan hits it right up the middle. Second baseman has to dive for it. Makes a great play. Throws it to Duran, and Duran just launches it into the dugout, and that sends Jordan to second base with one out. So Jordan is in scoring position with one out, and Jose Altuve at the plate. The mixed cheers and boos of Arlington, the bipolar nature, the love-hate relationship that people have there with Altuve. That's outside for ball one. Hey, David, thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for that $4.99 super chat. That's enough to cover an all-day breakfast at Joyful Family Restaurant. Ripped foul. Wow, that was a hard-hit ground ball down the third base line. He almost nailed Perez Chica. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 runner on second. Astros with 1 run so far. 3 hits for the Stros now. We got the lead in hits. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 2-1. David says, joined in perfect timing. Good. Yes, brought the luck. Yep, Doobie got it going. Yes, he did. Yes, sirree. Jeremy Pena kept it going. Jordan's kept it going. That's ripped foul again down the third baseline. Altuve's getting around on it super early. That was an 88-mile-per-hour toss. 80th pitch coming up for Corbin in just a moment. Come on, Altuve. This is your park. You own it. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He rips it again. Line drive foul down the third base side. Booing the ump. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Prodigy. Can't lose this game on a garbage error involving the scrub Moore and Jonah Heim. Pure garbage. I agree. 100%. Here's the 2-2. In the dirt. 3-2. Good take. Patrick Corbin. 80 pitches. 81, actually. I updated myself. Phil Maton is warming up in the bullpen. How awesome would it be to light up Maton? That would be so delicious. Duran with the durian throw. Up the middle, right to the second baseman. Jordan goes to third, but Altuve grounds out. So Altuve, an unintentional sacrifice to move Jordan over. It looks like Corbin will not stay on the mound. Bochy strolls out, if you want to call it strolls, more like hobbles, not making fun. Man, how old is he? And why does he struggle so much just to walk? I'm being honest, I'm not making fun of him. Seeing him walk out there looks painful. But that's going to be it. Yeah, you're right. Altuve at least fought, you know, at that at bat. He hey, 1 second, guys and gals. I'm going to grab myself an electrolyte drink. I'll be right back. And in case you didn't know, Geaux Stros. Maton is in the game. He is facing Cam Smith. No, I'm sorry. From here. I'm looking from the side of the screen. Carlos Correa is at the plate. My bad. 1 ball, no strikes. I'll get to the previews in just a moment. I'm standing apart from the TV, stretching my legs. Here's the pitch, the 1-0, right on the edge. 89-mile-per-hour cutter. 1-1. Jordan is on third base with 2 outs. Here comes the next pitch from Maton. Swing and a miss. Curveball low and outside. Correa chases it. 1-2 is the count. Correa gone fishing. Here's the 1-2. Give him a Maton crouton so he can crush it. Fouls it at the plate. Count remains 1-2. Instead of Duran, we could call him Durian Duran. You know that cheap band with the B movie sound? Which band is that? Durian Duran. One ball, 2 strikes to South Korea. Come on. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, another curveball low and outside in the dirt. Correa chases again. 2 chases low and outside. No plate discipline whatsoever. And Correa goes down, striking out. 3 hits for the Stros. We get 1 run off a couple of really good hits. A double by Doobie and a single by Pena and some really good base running by Doobie. So we tie the game up. There's that. We didn't need errors and nonsense to score our run, at least. Mr. Page, that's hilarious. Let's start bickering. No ref. Yeah. No whammies. Fear the Beard says he's a former catcher, so guessing his legs are shot. Are you guys talking about Duran? I'm not sure who you're talking about. I was gone. I was gone for a minute. Yeah, I'm thinking that Maton will hang one. I have a feeling. I agree with you shrewdly. Thanks, Jason. This is my Biggio jersey. It's interesting because I actually found this while I was on a mini vacation in another city in Japan. Found it at a vintage shop. Interestingly enough, I also found an LSU shirt. Louisiana State University Tigers sweatshirt. What kind of a sweatshirt? It's a long sleeve shirt, not a sweatshirt, just a long sleeve shirt. But both were vintage. This is a button down. Very cool. And this shirt is absolutely huge. It's too big for me, but that makes it really cool and comfortable. And the material is very soft. It's nice quality. 93 miles an hour right in there. Fromber's on the mound with 61 pitches. 62 now. 36 strikes. Here's the next toss. It's Durian Duran at the plate. Yeah, Mr. Page, that was the first thing that came to my mind. B-movie music. He's not good enough for adult music, if you know what I'm saying. He's B-movie music for sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and that swing and a miss. Duran steps out of the box, and now Fromber wants to know if he can change the ball. They let him do it. He's got another one. Why do my glasses look different today? Maybe it's because I have my hat pulled down. Maybe that's why. These are just dollar store glasses. I got them at Daiso. That's bounced foul, 1 and 2. Daiso actually has some reading glasses that block blue light, believe it or not. So that's nice. They're not. I stopped buying nice glasses for a couple of reasons. One is I only need them for reading. And, you know, reading the small text on the screen or reading a book or reading my phone. Whoo! 94 inside. How could that not be called a strike? It's been a strike all day, but it's 2 and 2 now. But I just kept sitting on my glasses and breaking them too much. And I was like, forget this. I'm not paying a lot of money to keep getting these fixed. So I just started buying dollar store glasses. But that's the cool thing is that Daiso has the different levels of reading glasses with the blue light blockers, so they work pretty well. I'm gonna possibly make me another cup of coffee. It depends on how I feel. 79 at the bottom of the zone, fouls it off again. Duran keeps fouling it off. Foul in, foul in. Yes, it absolutely is. And to find it at a vintage shop in Japan, it's pretty rare, isn't it, Jason? Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Below the zone. 79 mile per hour curveball. 69 pitches, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Fromber. Apparently, that's the first one on the curveball. The first strikeout of the day on the curveball. His first 2 strikeouts were on the changeup. Here comes the 70th pitch. Fromber has 109 strikeouts on the curveball, the most of any pitcher in MLB. That's interesting. That's pretty cool, Daryl. I like that. He says, I got my Texans jersey signed by C.J. Stroud. He's an awesome QB. You said just now. Is that like today? Today's game? That's really cool. Glad to hear that. That's neat. Neato. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Langford. It's in the dirt, 1-1. Boucher. Bobby Boucher. You're talking... Okay, I see what you're talking about. You're talking about Boucher. Bobby Boucher. I gotcha. Yeah, so old age and catcher background equals difficulty. Wakarimasu, I understand. Langford takes a little time out there for a moment. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 out. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Fromber. Nice! 90 miles an hour changeup. Another changeup strikeout. 2 strikeouts so far this inning. Curveball strikeout, swing and miss, and a changeup strikeout, swing and miss. Nice. Nice ball. Cody Freeman due up next. Daiso. Brendan, you don't know Daiso? Daiso. It's like a Japanese dollar store. They got them in the U.S. now, don't they? Oh, and 1 is the count to Freeman. Gregory says with a strawberry shortcake roll. In the dirt, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Cody Freeman praying to his God. But your God will serve you not. You worship pagans. Here's the 1-1 toss. That's a bouncer inside for ball 2. 2-1. Has anybody in the chat heard of Daiso? Do you have a Daiso in your local city? They are really, really good stores. That is cool, Daryl. Congratulations. I wish I had a Warren Moon signed jersey. That'd be freaking awesome. That's hit into left field, and that'll be down for a line drive hit. We have a 2-out base runner. Alvarez brings it in, but Freeman is on first base. Josh Young is due up next. That's true, Michael. First games of the NFL season almost never indicate the kind of season ahead. It's the same thing with college ball most of the time. Now, if you have a couple of juggernauts, then that's different. Like in the heyday of Nick Saban, they were almost a lock for getting into the national championship. They started to get some cracks later on before he retired, and then after he left, they kind of started to fall apart. 1 ball, no strikes to Young. That's in the dirt. 2-0. But it's funny because they rank these teams in the top 10, and then some of them get blown out by unranked teams. It's like, okay. And then teams that they didn't expect. Swing and a miss. Low below the zone, but nice toss on the changeup. 2-1. But that's the thing. All of the teams that they think they're going to do really well, they don't necessarily make it to the end. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the toss. That's hit out into left center field. That's going to get down. Myers is going to have to bring it in quick. He's booking around. They're going to wave him in. And the throw is going to be too late. 2-1. Double. Dollar General. Dollar General is garbage compared to Daiso. Sinker inside off of Fromber. 3 hits for the Stros. 4 hits now for the Strangers. It's just too bad that throw couldn't have come in just a little bit sooner. His throw was offline. Jeremy Pena's throw was way offline, but I don't think it could have gotten there in time anyway. Double cheeseburger at the plate, swinging a miss on the inside curveball. Hey, Gregory, thank you, sir, for the super chat. He says, Jake and Christian bombs. I will hold you to that. Thank you so much for that super chat. I'm going to hold you to that. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mr. Burger. Burger time. We have a runner on second with 2 outs. This is another example of what I was talking about. The pitchers get to 2 outs and then they start having problems. Fromber had 2 outs and nobody on. Then gave up a hit and a double and a run. This is hit out into right field pretty deep all the way out. It might be gone. Cam Smith jumps up and can't catch it. That's a 2-run homer by Double Cheeseburger. No kidding. Fromber is cooked. It's 4-1. Why does it have to be this guy? That's 2 home runs he's hit off the Astros in this series. I have a feeling this game is over. Because the bipolar bats for the Astros, they are not manic today. They were manic yesterday, but they're not manic today. That's for sure. Hey, Caesar, good to see you. Welcome in. Sorry about the timing. Yeah, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, these stores are terrible. Santa Claus bomb. I think this guy outweighs Santa Claus. They're having a meeting on the mound. I'm not really sure why. I guess they want to give him a break. Michael says, I wonder who Fromber's going to get pissed off at today. Yeah, 2 outs. 2 outs. And then after 2 outs, Fromber gives up 3 runs. So Fromber starts off with 2 strikeouts, guys. Can you believe that? 2 strikeouts and then gives up 3 runs. Craig Kimbrell is warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. Here's the pitch. Fouled off down the third baseline. Kyle Higashioka at the plate. Just being honest, Caesar. I think it's true that the Astros hitting is bipolar. That's hit out to right field and out of play. That was pretty far out there, but luckily foul. 0-2. I don't believe in hope, Caesar. Hope is when you don't believe, and believing is when you don't know. There's a grounder to Pena. Long throw. What a great play by Pena. Good defense right there. So where Fromber lets us down, the Flash holds us up. Out number 3. Fromber is up to about 85 pitches now and 51 strikes. Man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That you know what? I only have one thing to say. Maybe I can play it for you guys and gals. That inning right there. Let's see. Okay, I've got it. I've got it right here. Here we go. You ready? I hope you're ready. Here it goes. This is what I think about that inning that Farmer just threw. I look at the TV screen.
My husband is having an affair with your wife. I don't think we should talk about it. Unless you're prepared to kill them.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God.
That's my response to Fromber in the bottom of the 6th. It's all good in the neighborhood. Phil Maton appears to be still on the mound for the Strangers. He's going to be facing the inevitable Christian Walker. Now, Christian Walker and Jake Myers were said to be the home run hitters, according to Gregory. I agree with you on that, Gregory. Save the money. Do not sign Fromber. I don't think the Astros would, and I don't think they can. Enjoy that Texans game, Brendan. Right down the middle, 89 miles an hour. Fouled back. Strike one to Christian Walker. He has a strikeout and a line out today. Yeah, Hunter stayed calm the other day. He had bases loaded yesterday, and he got out of it. 90 miles an hour. Wasn't it 1 out? Bases loaded with 1 out, and he got out of it. Fromber had 2 outs and nobody on, and gave up 3 runs. That's nuts. We were in this game, and now we're out of it. Here comes a 1-1 pitch from Maton. A little high. Ball 2. 90-mile-per-hour cutter. Good take by Walker. Daryl says Astros in distress. Yes, that's what it was. Have you guys ever seen that clip before? It's hilarious. Here comes the 2-1. That's right in the bottom of the zone. It's definitely going to be called a strike by this umpire. 2-2. Gregory is calling for Christian Skywalker. I will join in on that action. Come on, Walker. Use the Force, Christian. Remember, use the Force. Here's the 2-2. Line drive right down the line. That could be extra bases. It gets stuck in the fence. Walker heads to second base. Nice. That ball hit the fence and died. It didn't bounce off of there. It didn't kick off. That's not a homer, but that'll do, Pig. That'll do. 76-mile-per-hour curve right on the outside of the zone. Didn't go down. It went to the left, but it didn't go down. Yep. Went to the wall there and just went bam and stopped. Jake the Rake. Uncle Walker. Comes the first pitch to Jake. Right in there. That was the same looking curveball. Should have ripped that one, baby. Strike one. How many people are listening in? Just 76. Wow, this game is not popular at all. I think everybody's watching football, right? Everybody's watching the football. 76-mile-per-hour curveball. Outside, 1-1. Let's take a look at the likes. Let's see if we're anywhere near 100. Got 64. All right. That's a bouncer. It's going to be a little trouble. He fires it over to first. Is he safe? They say they got him. Walker goes to third base. Myers is retired, but he gets Walker over to third. Yeah, he beat him by a half a step. And Meyer's helmet came off at first base. All right, Yiner. You had a few ribbies yesterday. How about another one? No lobsters today. 90 miles an hour in the top of the zone, swing and a miss. That was a very weak swing. A very weak swing. Come on, Yiner. Give him another shiner. Here's the 0-1. He taps that one foul at the plate. Strike 2. Hammond says, go Rangers. If they get eliminated, I'll be rooting for the Astros. I guess you like both Texas teams then. That's kind of common. I know a lot of people that are like that. It's funny how some Astros fans can't stand Rangers, and some Rangers fans can't stand Astros, and some like both. It's interesting. And then Dodgers fans can't stand either. Same with Yankees fans. Stankies. Draft Dodgers. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Diaz. Yes, take a deep breath, Diaz. A Diaz double. Opposite field. Check swing. Did he hold up? They say he did not swing. The crowd boos, but it didn't look like he went around that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was the right call, ump. That's not a bad angle right there. Woo, that was close. That was close. Here comes the 2-2. Low and outside, 3-2. The New York Roidkeys. I like to call them the Wankies. Maybe the LA Codgers. The Los Angeles Codgers.
What? What did you say? Are you saying something to me?
Here's the 3-2. Tapper to third. That's going to score a run. Young scoops it up, fires it to first. Is Yiner safe? No. That's going to be close. But it's 4-2. As Walker scores on the bouncer. Yiner doesn't get a lobster. He actually puts it in play and allows Walker the opportunity to get his butt home. That was close at first base. Yiner booked it down there. Cam Smith at the plate. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. A little crank it up Cam would be nice, but, you know. Strike 1 on the outside on the curveball. He's been starting almost everybody off with that curveball. They should just be prepared for it. Look for it and hit it. He looked safe, shrewdly. He certainly did. Here's the 0-1. 90 in the top of the zone on the cutter. Fouls it off. Yeah, Alejandro, I agree. I saw both the live play and the replay, and he looked safe to me on both of them, but they didn't even look at it, so I guess they saw it better than we did. Here's the 0-2. 91 ripped hard down the right line. Count remains 0-2. I want to see the Dodgers have like a 79 win season with their current roster. That'd be awesome. They just can't win anything. A curveball right in there. Cam Smith stands there and takes a curveball right in the zone. Standing there like a scared chicken, shaking and trembling as the ball comes in. Cam looks absolutely nothing like he did when he hit that triple yesterday. He hits the ball and gets all fired up, but why doesn't he get fired up before he goes up to hit? Why does he walk up to the plate and stand there like a scared chicken? And I really mean that. He looked lost. He just looked like he doesn't know what he's doing. 7th inning stretch time. He looked lost. Shrewdly, that's exactly what I was just saying. He looks lost. Don't swing at balls. Take him out, please. I don't care if Cam swings at everything. It's better than standing there, that's for sure. I'm going to stretch. It is the 7th inning, but I do need a stretch. Go Stros. It's 4-2 at the bottom of the 7th. It's going into the bottom of the 7th. They just showed the players of the game according to the stats. There were 5 players on the screen. I want you to guess how many were Astros and how many were strangers. Can you guess? Once again, Space City Network is showing some clips of Astros victories past, Astros walk-offs and comeback wins against the Mariners, trying to relive the glory days so that we can feel better about the current loss in progress. I'm not saying that they will lose, but as it stands now, it is a loss in progress. Fromber's back on the mound. 6 complete innings for Fromber. 87 pitches for Fromber. I love you, Gregory. Mom and Dad. I don't even know how to say that. I should learn how to say that in Japanese. Moi. Little tapper right back to Fromber, and he lobs it over to Christian Walker at first. Route number 1. That's nice. 1 pitch, 1 out. Good start. Dylan Moore goes down. That's a good out. Jonah Heim. Jonah Heim is at the plate. The first pitch is on the way. In the dirt. I think I mentioned this the other day. This company right here, I would love to get a sponsorship from, but I think since they're in Japan, I'm pretty sure that they do not sell overseas. But I'll tell you what, this is like the best, the absolute best electrolyte drink on the market. It is freaking awesome. You drink 2 of these a day and it gives you all the electrolytes you need, and there's no sugar basically. It's just a little bit of carbs. That's a ground ball to Pena, and he tosses over to first. Nice and easy. 2 away. Good. We might see Trammell and Caratini. Depends on who the strangers bring in below the zone. Ball 1 to Michael Hellman. 2 outs. Nobody on. Here comes a pitch. That's hit hard in left field. Man, that was way out there. Luckily foul. Yeah, shrewdly, I agree. Says they have, shrewdly says they have data on him now. Now his turn to adjust. Another foul ball. The count remains, I'm sorry, the count goes to 1-2. Shrewdly says Sanchez and Trammell looking like better options regardless of splits. Now, I will say that typically Sanchez bats really badly. really poorly against the left-handed pitchers. Here's the toss. I'm not saying that Cam Smith is any better right now. But at least it's a streak. I think with Sanchez, it's like an always thing with left-handers. Fouled off. The count remains 2-2. But if they got the right pitcher in there, I'd definitely love to see Trammell and Sanchez in the game, and Caratini, all three. But it just depends on who's going to be on the mound. I think the Astros will wait until they change a pitcher, and then they'll make a change. That's a swing. Home plate umpire says, hey, that's a strike 3, buddy. Nice. We are finished with 7 innings. The top of the 8th coming up. The Astros have 2 more opportunities to make up 2 runs. Essentially, we're down 2-0. The score is 4-2. 5 hits for the Strangers and 4 for the Stros. 1 error apiece. Let's take a look at the lobster count right now. Wow, the lobsters have gone up for the Astros. That's our current lobster count. Goodness. 8 for the Astros, 3 for the Strangers. If you look and you see that the Strangers have 4 runs and only 3 lobsters, that's quite good. Quite good. Now they haven't created a tremendous amount of opportunities. They've only had a few opportunities. But they've made the most of those opportunities with big hits. And an error. They got 1 error, but, you know. 'Tis what it is. The Stros, on the other hand, have only got 2 runs on the board and have lost 8 opportunities. Essentially, the Astros have managed to get 10 lobsters in the boat and lost 8 of them before they got back to the village. So you could say whenever they catch a lobster, they have a 20% success rate getting them back to the village. Can you imagine losing 80% of your lobster haul? The villagers would be so upset, right? Here's the pitch. Doobie is at the plate. He had himself a really nice double earlier. Maton is out. We have a different pitcher in the game for the Rangers. Hey, look at that. Doobie lines it into left field. That's a single. A double and now a single. Robert Garcia. Leadoff single. The tying run is at the plate, guys. Jeremy Pena, the top of our batting order. He's definitely got the power to tie it up. Not if he takes the pitches right down the middle, though. 88-mile-per-hour changeup, strike 1. Come on, Flash. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's right up the middle. Could be a double play. Probably will be. No, it's not in time. Pena beats it out. Wow. Pena turned on the afterburners there. I thought for sure. Yeah, look at this. He rocketed right up the middle. And I thought for sure that was going to be a double play. But, man, he beat it out. That's why I call him the Flash. When he wants, he can just turn the afterburners on. He's one of the fastest in the MLB down the line when he wants to be. One out. And that brings up your daddy. And after that, we got the Altuve snap. Come on, Jordan. We need you, baby. Here's a pitch. Right in there. 96 miles an hour. Right down the middle. Strike one. Here comes the next pitch. Jordan hits that to left field, and that's going to be right to the left fielder. Pena can't move. Out number 2. Altuve. Nope. They're not gonna let Garcia pitch to Altuve. They're gonna bring in a right-hander. Altuve doesn't get the left-hander, so they're gonna swap pitchers again. So, this is the way it stands right now. This is the table that has been set for the Astros in the 8th inning. Or rather, this is the table that the Astros have allowed to be set. It's 2 outs. With Doobie on first base. Jose Altuve at the plate. He's going to be facing a new pitcher, a right-hander. Chris, you're right. Jeremy indeed is Speedy Gonzalez. That's true. I think I actually need the hot drink, the extra hot drink, so I'm gonna pour myself a slightly fresh, small, weak cup of coffee. I need to lay some Java on myself. I need some kind of hot liquid. So easy when I breathe cold air or drink something cold. Or if I laugh too much, it's so easy to start coughing. Drinking the hot drinks helps to stymie that. Stymie that, I think. I think that's the correct pronunciation. My bad. I apologize to you pronunciation gurus out there. Altuve at the plate takes the first pitch, 83 right in the middle of the plate for strike one. Get this off mute so I can hear what's going on. Sean Armstrong is in the game. Here comes the next pitch to Altuve, the 0-1. 90 in the miles. I'm so out of it right now. 90 miles per hour in the upper outer corner, fouled off by Altuve. Come on, Altuve. Help me sleep well tonight, or this morning. Not today. At least not this inning. Altuve just throws his bat away in disgust. That's strikeout. Another strikeout for Altuve. He just throws his bat away in his helmet and he just walks to the dugout really slowly. That was the most uninspiring at bat right there. 3-pitch strikeout. I have no words. That's another lobster couple of lobsters. 3, actually. Doobie was left on. He comes up to the plate, gets a single, and then after that, out, out, out. 3 more lobsters for the Astros. Astros now have 8 lobsters. Max, I agree with you. But I'm telling you that the way they're playing right now, it won't change. If you take a coin out of your pocket and you flip it, you can decide if they're going to hit the ball this inning or not. You can also do the same thing to determine if they're going to win the game or not. Alejandro, Craig Kimbrell is on the mound now. Are you talking about who's going to be up in the next inning for the Astros? Because the Astros aren't batting right now. Ezekiel Duran is supposed to be at the plate, followed by Wyatt Langford and Cody Freeman. Kimbrell has pitched 5.2 innings so far for the Astros. He's given up no runs, 9 strikeouts, 6 walks. A little too high on the walks, but he's gotten into jams and gotten out of it. If nothing changes in the Astros lineup, Alejandro, it's going to be Correa, Walker, and Myers. But there's no way to know that for sure because they might bring in some lefties depending on who's on the mound. Josh Smith is at the plate right now for the Strangers. Here's the pitch from Kimbrell. Swing and a miss. 88 miles an hour on the changeup. Low. What in the world? 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Kimbrell. High, 1-1. Here's the next pitch. Smith takes that one. A little high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the 8th. Nobody on, nobody out. There's the vulture stance of Kimbrell. Here comes the 2-1. Ooh, almost went around. 93 mile per hour fastball. It was not a bad pitch, but he didn't chase it. Now it's 3-1. I wonder if we got 50 people. 63 listening in right now. Wow. NFL really cuts into the game. 93 right in there. Especially when the Astros are losing. Astros are losing. Football season has started. People are like, forget this. I'm going to go watch the Texans. Here's the full count pitch. High and outside, ball 4. So first batter has walked. Kimbrell doing the traditional thing, making it difficult for himself. As long as he does the usual, gets into a jam, gets out of it without giving up any runs, that's fine. He fires it over to first base, but Josh Smith is back. Wyatt Langford at the plate. I don't like that the two overlap, to be honest, Alejandro. Not much can be done about it, though. 94 right in there. Strike 1 to Langford. I would like to watch the LSU Tiger games, but I can't. Because the Astros almost always play at the same time. So how can I watch both? I just have to check the score. Outside, 1-1. Yeah, Max, they're going to continue to be all over the place. There will be no consistency from the Astros. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just stating the facts. The reason I'm saying that is because the Astros have only been inconsistent. What's going on here? Oh, Kimball dropped the ball. I was like, where's he going? Why do they throw the ball away just because it rolls on the grass? I don't know. Does it get wet or something? I don't think it's wet out there on the field, but whatever. 2 balls and 1 strike with Langford with a runner on first. Here's the pitch. Way high. Another 3-1 count. But you're justified, Max, to have your worries. And about it being hard to get a feeling for the team. Statistics don't lie. 93 in the top of the zone. That's a good pitch. Full count. I think my coffee is ready. It certainly is. The sun is coming up outside. Was it raining? Yeah, I think it's been raining a little bit. Here comes a 3-2. Runner stealing. And that's fouled off. He's going to have to go back. Go back to first, boy. Go back to where you came from. You ain't from around here, boy. I suggest you go back where you came from. Go back the way you came in. And don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. Come on, let's get this guy. Let's get Wyatt. Wyatt Earp's last stand. Here's the pitch. This is hit out to center field. Myers is underneath it. Josh Smith has to go back to first base. He was stealing on that play. Out number 1. Cody Freeman due up next. $69 people listening in and 69 likes. If you have not liked the live stream, please do so. I'd appreciate it. It would be nice to get to 100 today. I don't know if it's going to happen because the watch count right now is so very low. But if you have not liked the live stream, this is your reminder. Thank you very much. First pitch to Freeman from Kimbrell is on the way. The runner is going on the first pitch. Here's the throw from Diaz. Dubon wants them to take a look at it. I don't know if they're going to review that or not. Yonder came up pretty quick. Nice fast throw. But it was just a little off. They're not going to review it. Dubon put a really quick tag on there, but it wasn't quick enough. One ball, no strikes to Freeman. Runner on second. 1 out. Here's the toss. Nice. Four-seam fastball on the outside edge, 1-1. It's getting lighter earlier and darker earlier nowadays. 95 outside, 2-1. Here comes the toss. That fastball missing outside again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Another 3-1 count. I think that Kimbrell's had a 3-1 count on every batter this inning. Hey, Prodigy. Thank you for that sarcastic super. Sarcastic Super for the win. Arigato. Thank you so much, sir. Here's the next pitch, 3-1. This is hit high to left field. Pena is over. He goes in behind Correa and makes the play. Out number 2. Freeman goes down. Josh Young comes to the plate. Smith stays on second. Pardon me. Von Way is warming up alongside Von Way and Okert are warming up in the bullpen. First pitch to Young is outside for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 toss from Kimbrel. Sharp grounder right to Pena. He scoops it up and makes a good throw to first base, and that's going to be it. Kimbrel has another successful outing, lets a runner get on, but works around it, gets the 3 outs, no earned runs. He continues to do well for the Astros with an ERA of 0.00. Sean Armstrong is listed as still being in the game, but we'll see whether he is or not. Most likely he is. He was brought in to pitch to Altuve, and Correa, Walker, and Myers are due up next. I would say probably he's still in the game. I wonder if they will bring in if they bring in a pinch hitter for one of these guys, it will be Caratini for Walker. I don't see them bringing in a pinch hitter for Correa or Myers. If they bring in a pinch hitter. I'm 50-50 if they bring in a pinch hitter on Walker. But if they do, it's got to be Caratini. We're coming up to the top of the 9th. This is the Astros' final chance to tie it up or take the lead. We're just down by 2. It's not like it's 7-1. It's 4-2. This is a very tiny lead. That's just a field goal. We can win the game with a field goal. Let's see if Carlos Correa and Christian Walker can set up the football for Jake Myers to kick a field goal. It would be appropriate considering how it's football time right now, wouldn't it? I think so. Correa at the plate. Let's see a little South Korea action. Come on, baby. First pitch, swing and a miss on the outside. Cutter. Fromber's killing you. Well, the problem today is not Fromber. I'd say the problem today is the hitting. The Astros hitting. The Swiffer low and outside. He doesn't swing good for you, Correa. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1. Way outside and in the dirt. 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. Here's the toss from Armstrong. 95, right in the middle of the zone. Swing and a miss. 2-2 is the count. Correa. Correa takes a timeout. Well, he just threw right down the middle. You don't get any closer to the zone than that. Two-two pitch coming. Fouled off to the right side into the crowd. The count remains 2-2. You're right, Alejandro. Here comes the 2-2 pitch again. Fouls it back again. This time, fouled back instead of to the right. Two balls, two strikes. Here's the pitch. South Korea fouls it off again. 92-mile-per-hour cutter on the outside lower edge. Sails off into the first base side crowd. Ten pitches for arm week. Arm week. Here's the toss. This is hit way up in the air on the infield. Second baseman doesn't even have to move. He puts it away. One down. I just remembered that when I was a little boy, I had a stuffed animal that was an elephant. And I named him Armstrong. To me, he had a trunk, and his trunk stuck up like this, and to me it was like a big arm, big strong arm, so I called him Strong Arm, or Armstrong rather. Very first pitch, Walker grounds it straight to the shortstop. Out number 2. Now here's the thing, 2 outs. The Astros have 2 outs. Why can't they score 3 runs? I think they can. Shake the rake. Diaz on deck. Cam Smith in the hole. We probably wouldn't see Cam. Might not see Diaz. Grounds this one to third, and that's probably going to be it. And it is, and that's it. The Rangers take the series on a really crappy game, really. Astros bats can't do anything. 5 hits. 11 total lobsters. 11 missed opportunities to bring guys around. 1 bad error. The error didn't wind up costing them the game, though. The home run really was what cost them the game by double cheeseburger there. The guy who literally has too many cheeseburgers. There's no way that that guy does not have too many cheeseburgers. There's just no way. He's aptly named. 5 hits for the Astros and 5 hits for the Strangers. 1 error apiece. This was a highly disappointing game, wasn't it? Yeah, you're right, Prodigy. I agree with you. B to the S. B to the S. Yep, and we lose a lot of ground today on the Mariners. They won big time. The Astros lose. Astros may as well have gotten blown out by 10 runs today because this game was so lackluster. Everything about this game was just so lackluster. The crowd, even the Rangers crowd, wasn't really into it. The players didn't seem to be into it. My viewers today weren't into it. I'm not talking about the live chatters. I'm talking about the people who weren't here. Right now, at the end of the game, only 60 people watching. Usually, in a game like this, there would be like close to 200, at least 150. Never got anywhere near that today. Everybody is interested in football, just don't care about this game. And this is a big, important game. Nobody cares. Few care. Just us, just the real fans. Yeah, we do, Alejandro. We have more games against the Strangers back in Houston, I believe. And the A's, yep. Yeah, we got to play the Mariners. We got to play the Rangers again. We got to play the A's. We got to make the rounds. We got to go round the horn. Lose to a lousy team. You're right, Prodigy. You're right. This is not a good team. I can tell, but they don't even have some of their core players. A couple of their hitters like Seager and Garcia, those guys really punished the Astros. And they weren't even in the lineup. And you want to hear something really kind of funny? When I was listening to the podcast for Locked On Rangers, many of the commenters were talking about Berger. They're tired of him. They were saying he was trash, that they need to get rid of him. Why is he in the lineup? And the guy comes out today and hits a 2-run homer. And he's a right-handed batter. And yet, I'm sorry, the right or left-handed batter doesn't matter. I can't remember. But the point is, the Astros commentators were saying earlier that his batting orientation against Fromber is a very rare home run. So he's been like trash according to the Rangers fans, and yet he comes out and gets a homer off of Fromber Valdez. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Elvis says, we can't let go, though. Division games go like that. Well, for the Astros, every game is a coin flip. It's not just division. It's every game. Every game is a coin flip for the Astros. If you want to bet on the Astros, you can just use a head and tails coin. And that's not a joke. Until they get their systemic issues straightened out and their plate discipline fixed as a team, then they will continue to be bipolar. That's a good question, Chris. Why not take the runs, half the runs from yesterday, and use them today? We only needed 3. Could have used 3. Shoot wants to know what my confidence is with this team. If I give you a one-word answer, Shoot, it will sound crappy. The answer is, it depends. If I would just say, depends. Now, the long answer is, it depends on if the coaches actually become leaders and hold the Astros accountable to a proven, disciplined hitting system. If they do that, then this is the best team in the MLB, and I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all, not even a little bit. And I'm not saying that because I'm an Astros fan and I look at the world through orange-colored Astros glasses. Everything is Astros all the time. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is very, very, very unbiased. Media guys, journalists, sports analysts, they all agree. When you look at the lineups of all of the MLB teams right now, the one that you look at and you're like, wow, this is really an amazing lineup. It's the Houston Astros lineup. I mean, look at our lineup just today. Seriously, Jeremy Pena, followed by Yordan Alvarez, followed by Jose Altuve, and then Carlos Correa. These are our first 4 batters. And then we have Christian Walker. Jake Myers is back. Yainer Diaz. Cam Smith. Mauricio Dubon. Now, forget about the way they've been performing. Forget about that. You just have to look at what they're able to do, what they've shown that they are able to do, or what they have proven that they're able to do. For example, Jose Altuve is playing like garbage right now. He is. Most everybody in the lineup is playing like garbage. It's like I said, it's like a coin flip. So, when you look at somebody like Altuve, you have to say, but Altuve is not a garbage player. He's an elite player, but he's not playing elite. He's playing like a coin toss. Is he going to have a terrible game and just do nothing and strike out the whole time? Or is he going to have a great game, blow it up, and go 4 for 4? You never know. But right now, he's just playing like garbage. Does he have the ability to play well? Of course. But so does Pena. Did Pena play well today? No. I mean, he had a hit and an RBI. 1 stolen base. That's it. I mean, you might say, well, that's still good. Yeah, but just 1 hit. He just had 1 hit the whole game. Alvarez had no hits. He had 1 walk. That's it. Altuve, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Carlos Correa, no hits, nothing, no walks, 2 strikeouts. I'm sorry, 1 strikeout. Christian Walker, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Myers, 1 hit, nothing else. Diaz, no hits. He did have a fielder's choice RBI, but that's it. Cam Smith, no hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks. Mauricio Dubon had a really good game, a really good game. 2 hits, a double and a single, and he scored a run. So in this lineup, the only one who actually had a good game, in my opinion, was Dubon in the hitting lineup. Everybody else sucked. Even though Pena got a hit and an RBI, I still say everybody else sucked. But what about their potential? What about what they've proven they can do? And that's what I'm saying. If Shohei Ohtani is going through what appears to be a slump for like a month and a half, would you say that Shohei Ohtani is a garbage player? No. Everybody would say the same thing. Man, what is wrong with Shohei Ohtani? What has he been doing wrong that has messed up his bat? That's what everybody would say, right? And that's what you have to say about the Astros bats as a whole, because they are all doing it. They are all not living up to their abilities. Hammond Manor Plantation, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that very, very much. I need to put a thank you message in the chat for that. Thank you so much from Hiroshima for that super chat. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. So, shoot, my confidence level, I don't actually have an official confidence level right now, because I'm waiting to see if the Astros coaching staff will actually stop sitting on their hands and hold the Astros players' feet to the fire and say, hey, listen, everybody, the team as a whole is just going up to the plate and doing whatever they want. And that's the truth, okay? If you have a coach who's hands off and he's like, hey, I got a lineup full of stars, right? And they're good hitters, so I'm just going to let them go to the plate and do what they do. You can't do that. It takes a special player to have the kind of discipline to continually not just maintain their craft, but hone it and get better. It takes a special player to do that. And if you let your entire team just, quote, do their thing, unquote, then you're going to have a bipolar team like what we see in the Houston Astros. So, if you'll hang with me and wait for my video to come out, I've got part 1 coming out tomorrow, because there's no game tomorrow, thank goodness. We have a break. And I've been working hard to get part 1 of my video done. It's going to be a little over 5 minutes. It's a very short video. And it sets up the rest of the video. First part of the video explains 2 things. One is what I'm going to talk about in both videos. And the second part is it explains my concept of lobsters, and it compares it to baseball, getting the runners advanced, moving them home. It compares that to catching the lobsters and bringing them home. Okay, it's a similar thing. I think it's interesting. I hope you can look for that and support it. I'd appreciate it very much. And Elvis, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being positive. Yeah, see you for the Astros Rangers series, the next series. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much for the super chat. Alejandro says, need a coaching staff that cares and develop a proper bullpen, and especially work with the ace pitchers. Well, we definitely need to work a little bit with the pitchers, but our biggest problem right now is not the bullpen. But Alejandro, your second comment is spot on. Coaching issue altogether. I agree. I agree with that. The Astros coaches are sitting on their hands and letting their pitchers, you could just say letting their players, it seems like they're letting their players just do their thing because, hey, they're good, right? They're stars. Oh, they're good pitchers. I mean, look what's happening with Fromber. Do you think that's all Fromber's fault? I don't think so. Even Hunter Brown has, I mean, he had a much better game yesterday, but even Hunter Brown has fallen off. Look at all of the issues they've had since the All-Star break on both ends of the ball, right? Offense and defense. Why is that? And over the past couple of years, 2024 and 2025, the Astros bats have been really bad. The number of lobsters that they catch and then don't bring home, they're just left on base over and over and over and over again. It's unbelievably high. It's crazy. Right. But Alejandro, if you'll see my video whenever it comes out, I actually break down the percentages of responsibility that I lay. And I put 50% on the players, 50% on the actual players on the field. And then I put about 35% on the batting coaches. I put about maybe 30% on the batting coaches and another 15% on Joe Espada, and then I put like 5% on Dana Brown. But it is a deeper rooted issue, and that's why I decided to research it and make a video about it. But it has taken so long, and I edited that video yesterday afternoon for about 5 hours, and then when I came home I edited and worked on it for several more hours. So I put almost 10 hours of editing just into that first 5 minutes yesterday. And now I'm kind of worn out. It's 6:17 in the morning, and I'm tired and sleepy. I haven't had any sleep all night long, so I'm definitely burning the fumes right now. But the next game is a couple of days from now. Thankfully, we have a day off. Look for that video to drop tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and do it as two-part series, I think. Part 1 and Part 2. Next game is at Toronto. Another big series. Luis Garcia is supposed to be on the mound against Jose Berrios. Should be a guy that we can hit, but once again, it's a coin toss with the Astros. There's no way to know if they're going to hit him or not. We can have a guy on the mound with a 7 ERA and not hit him. It's not because the Astros suck. It's just because they have no discipline. No team discipline. No structured discipline. No systemic system in place and being adhered to. And that's the simple fact. But anyway, I hope you do check it out. That's all for now. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thank you all for listening. Much love to you all. Have a great weekend, whatever's left of it. I'm going to spend my Monday morning sleeping my butt off right over there. That's all for now. Geaux Stros is what I'll say, and I'll see you the day after tomorrow's. And that's it. Bye-bye.